Hey guys, happy Sunday. I just wanted to do a very quick video with baby Madeline. She is, I had to go ahead and change her into an outfit. I'm sorry that I didn't get a chance to do that on camera. I actually don't have a very tall tripod. I have a very short one and not able to get a good angle to do a changing video yet. So I will try to get a taller one in the future so I can shoot more videos like that. But I did want to show you this little sweetie and show you her with some clothes on, since I know the last video we did with her, she just had her belly plate and a diaper on. She looks super cute like that too. But yeah, I just adore this little one. She looks so amazingly real. Her skin tones are very vivid and you can just see her details. I love how Melissa does hair and how she roots hair. It's really so soft and looks so real. But yeah, this little one is so super sweet. And yeah, so anyway, today I just wanted to hop on and a little bit of a continuation from the topic on one of my last videos around one kind of interesting question that I think I'd be so curious to hear from other collectors on is, like, what is the optimal number of babies in your collection? Because I am definitely starting to feel like I am starting to get closer to that saturation point where kind of running out of space, but also, you know, want to be able to still have enough attention to give to each of my babies without feeling overwhelmed. And I do still have, of course, my two real babies that take up most of my time. And this hobby is really me time. It's, you know, kind of my escape from working and from kind of my typical, you know, just duties as a mom. And, you know, this is really just kind of my special time just for myself. But anyway, I digress. But yeah, I was just thinking, here, look at her little feet. She's just so cute. Yeah, so as I was just kind of admiring baby Madeline, and you know, she was snuggled up right next to Clara during the nighttime. It's so cute seeing the two of them together. I really, when I ordered the custom to get Madeline made, I was really picturing just another sleeping baby to sleep next to Clara, because you know, she seemed all lonely by herself. I have my bigger babies, my two Saskias, Emily and Jenna, and then Connor and Evelyn, who are kind of the bigger, you know, kind of 0 to 3 / 3 to 6 months. I think those babies can wear really, they're kind of in that interesting size where they can kind of go either way. And then Clara, my Levi, was really the only newborn sized reborn that I had, so I really wanted another sort of more newborn sized baby as well. But this little one is actually a little bit bigger than I anticipated. Melissa and I were exchanging messages on Facebook, and she is actually a little bit more chunky than I think we thought she would be. So when I was did that video comparing the two of them, I was just noting that Madeline was a little bit longer, but you know, when she's wearing rompers like this is actually a newborn sized romper from Carter's. You can't really tell as much that she is much bigger. And then her legs are also jointed, so you know, if I bend them a little bit, you know, to kind of give her the curled up look that Levi has, the Levi Sculpt has, then they look a little bit closer in size. But it's interesting, so on McPherson's website, she's definitely listed as an 18-inch baby, and so was Levi. So I thought, okay, they should be comparable in size, hopefully. But she's just got a really darling, peaceful expression. She's so cute. But yeah, in terms of the optimal number of babies in my collection, it's a really good question. I have collected other types of dolls in the past, most notably, and I still have these dolls, and I'll have to show them to you sometime, but definitely most notably, like American Girl. I also bought a whole bunch of Paradise Galleries dolls before I took the plunge and started getting Reborns again. And I'm trying to think how many of each of those babies I have. I think I probably have, I want to say about 12 to 15 American Girl dolls, and maybe another 12 to it might be 12 to 15 Paradise Galleries dolls too, so it's a lot. The American Girl dolls are all on a shelf in my son's room. Obviously, we're not going to keep them there forever. And my daughter, Audrey, who is only 5, she's still a little bit young for them. So she's actually right now really into My Little Pony. If you didn't notice that from our box opening video, there's like a whole cluster of My Little Pony plushies in the background, so sorry for the mess. And I also apologize that my daughter was coughing a lot throughout that video. She's actually been sick with a cold the past few days, and energy-wise, she's been fine. No fever, so it's nothing serious, but man, it's just quite the hacking cough, so poor thing. Trying to, hopefully she'll recover from that soon, but she really wanted to be a part of that box opening, so I went ahead and included her. So anyway, with the addition of Madeline, I am now up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I have 6 Reborns that I've purchased from artists, and then I have the 4 Reborns that I've made, and I have another Reborn who is a work in process that I'm painting right now, who is actually my first attempt at an African-American baby, an ethnic baby. So so I know this one, it's coming along okay. It's definitely not perfect. But yeah, I'm overall pretty pleased with how he's coming along so far. I think he definitely looks like a boy. This is the Tracy sculpt from Bountiful Baby. So that one's coming along. I'll have to show that one to you at some point. My next step, most of the painting is done. What I need to do now on that one is to paint eyebrows. I'll probably look to do some painted hair, and then I think I'm going to do Combi for that guy, just because Tracy sculpt has a really big head, so I don't know if for my first full head of rooting I want to tackle quite such a big head, but I think if I do painted hair and then Combi on top, it won't be quite as overwhelming to root, and then I can kind of choose how much rooting I want to do on top. But I'm really excited to see how that one comes along. And yeah, and it's interesting with the AA babies, I don't know quite when to stop in terms of the number of layers of paint. I had gotten to a point where I said, okay, yeah, I think I like the color, it looks really good. And then then one of our friends who was over and saw the doll, and she's African American, she kind of said, oh, it looks like it's coming along well so far, but sort of implied that I might want to add a few more layers to make the baby darker. So I went ahead and added a couple more layers, and she's very dark herself, so maybe it's just she's kind of thinking about this in context of her own skin tone, and thinking kind of what she thinks would look the nicest. So anyway, I went ahead and added a couple more a couple more darker tone layers, and yeah, I think the baby's coming along nicely. So anyway, I have 4 going on 5 Reborns that I've painted, and 2 of those babies belong to my daughter, as I mentioned in my past videos. 2 of them belong to me right now. The 2 that I have, which are the Sugar Sculpt, that's my baby Aaron. He is kind of my cuddle baby. He's very, very cuddly. I weighted him really floppy, and he's a bit of a boo-boo baby, as is Avery and Claire. Like the first 3 babies I made definitely have some noticeable boo-boos. The last baby I painted, Sabrina, who is the dumpling sculpt, she actually looks really good. I am very, very proud with her painted hair. And then I originally planned to make her for my niece, but then my niece is turning 2, and I think she's just too young for a Reborn. And then my sister's also not a huge fan of Reborns, and plus they have a lot of dolls that I've gifted them in the past, just baby dolls and kids play dolls, and I think they're they're a little space conscious as well. So she has asked me to, probably give them some more consumable items for her birthday. So I'll probably get her some art supplies that she can use. I think she's requested like an easel with paper, maybe some paints or markers, that sort of thing. Things that are more usable and that kids tend to run out of. So I'll probably do that in terms of her birthday gift. But in the meantime, I made this baby, and I had intended to give her to my niece, and then she didn't want her, or my sister didn't want her. So I am, as of now, keeping her, because every time I look at her, and she actually looks a little bit more doll-like. I think it's just that sculpt. Or maybe, because I'm a less experienced artist, but she doesn't look as realistic to me. But, I do think she is so super cute. And, and I don't know, with open-eye babies, it feels like they have so much personality. So every time I think about selling her, I feel like she's looking at me and saying, no, don't sell me. Don't sell me, Mom. I want to stay here. And I'm like, okay. But I know I'm going to need to start selling some of my my babies that I've been painting, and that can... and just to continue to fund more kits and more new baby purchases, down the road. And then in addition to, I guess, these, the 10 reborns going on 11 that I have, of course, my 3 silicone babies. And so that's 13 babies. That's a lot. And I don't know what's a good number. I mean, I was kind of thinking I probably really don't want to go more than 20 maybe, but gosh, it's hard. Like I definitely at some point on my bucket list would be to get a portrait sculpt of my son in silicone. I'd really, really love to get a portrait baby in silicone of him at some point. And so that's definitely on my wish list. And so I don't know, guys. I mean, I think this is such a wonderful hobby, but it is also highly addictive and it's extremely expensive. And so I do know that I'm going to need to, probably at some point say, okay, this is a good number for now, and just really stop and enjoy. But it is very hard when, all these new sculpts are coming out all the time, and there's so many fresh faces, and you see new babies and you're like, oh my gosh, I love that sculpt. And then I don't know if other artists feel this way, but if anyone else ever buys a sculpt thinking, okay, I'm going to make this baby to sell, and then as you're painting it, you end up falling in love and deciding to keep it. I don't know. I'm still relatively new, but obviously so far I've kept all the babies I've painted. So I don't know if there are other people who go through that, where you see a sculpt you really like, buy it, but intending to paint and then sell, but end up just keeping. And then hence the collection grows really big. Like I have so many kits in the garage right now. If I painted, I am a sucker for the Bountiful Baby half price sales, and I just end up scooping up kits when they have kits that go on sale. I have so many kits in there. I don't even know how many. Like it would probably be like 50 babies if I'm honest with myself. I don't know. I haven't literally gone through and counted. I'd probably be scared at the number. But and then what's bad also is when these kits go on sale, it's not like I'm just buying one. You saw my last box opening, I bought 2 of the Kimmy sculpt, and I actually have 3 Gemma sculpts. Shout out to Melissa. The Gemma sculpt is actually a portrait sculpt of her baby girl, who I think is also named Gemma, and I had no idea of that. I had just seen that sculpt on Bountiful Baby website, and I just think that sculpt is so super cute. And so when it went on sale, I went ahead and ordered 3 of them. I have 3 Cheyennes in my garage. I also have, I think, 2 sugar kits, and I obviously made sugar already. So my intention is to reborn those 2 kits to sell. I think it's a wonderful sculpt. It's just the cutest little face. And The lady on Facebook that I referenced in one of my previous videos who has, one reborn that she got and just absolutely dotes on this baby. That baby is the Sugar Sculpt. So it is a wonderful sculpt for sure. I'm trying to think what other kits I have duplicates of. I think I have a couple Fei Yens, and I think Kamiko, I think I might only have one. I think I wanted to try it first and make sure that I was able to do a good job on it before buying more Kamikos. But yeah, all of the kits I've got, and there are a bunch of kits that I have singles of. I have a number of the Reborn kits. I think I'm going to do those a little bit later, once I really feel confident in my painting and that I'm going to be able to avoid like little boo-boos. I think the biggest challenge I have with painting right now is, since I'm using air dry paints and these paints dry quickly, and I get a little bit, I think what ends up happening is I'm wearing gloves, and then I'll kind of be using a sponge to pounce the paint off, but I might miss a spot, or a little drop of paint might get caught on my glove, and then I'm touching the vinyl limb, and then before I know it, there's a little spot that like dried much darker than that layer of paint that I just painted. I don't know if that makes any sense at all to you guys, but I think the other artists who do air dry might understand what I'm talking about, because I think it's a little less forgiving in that sense, because you have to really work carefully, and you can't triple check your work before you put the baby parts in the oven to bake between layers. So it's just a little bit different. But anyway, so I'm still working on my technique, and I know that the babies I've made so far are not perfect, and certainly not at the level of Madeline or the other artists' babies that I've purchased so far. But yeah, I guess I just enjoy all aspects of this hobby now, and I'm so glad I did start to learn to paint, because I think it gives me just a different perspective on the art form. You really get an appreciation of just all the time and work that goes into making these babies, and to achieve like every little detail. It's so subtle, and there's probably still like a million things that I don't know. In fact, I know there's a million things that I still don't know about the hobby, but I really, really appreciate, you can see here on her leg, the really subtle veining and the very nice modeling that Melissa did. Yeah, so anyhow, I think I'm digressing again. So sorry for this video being a little bit all over the place, but I wanted to hop in here on this Sunday afternoon just to kind of bring up that fun discussion topic, and I'd love to hear your comments, or if you want to do this video tag for your own channels, like, give me your thoughts on like what is the optimal number of babies in your collection. And maybe there is no like number. Maybe you'd be like, hey, I'd love to have 100 babies, and the more the merrier. All the power to you. And I think there are some reborn mommies and reborn in silica mommies out there that might only have 1 or 2 babies and just be perfectly content with that smaller collection. And so, yeah, I think for me, I'm somewhere in between. I'm probably somewhere in that 10 to 20 range. Is good for me. I like the variety, and I like when I'm in different moods, different babies, I'm gravitated to different babies, whether they're awake and smiling, or awake and serious, or sleeping and very newborn. Just depends on my mood. And but I am a cuddler. I do really enjoy holding my babies. And so anyhow, well, I just wanted to hop on and do this video. I did have my son and I had a really fun day yesterday. Since my daughter was sick, I took my son to Disneyland, since we have annual passes, and we spent I think like 5 or 6 hours there, had dinner, went on a few rides, and it was really fun. Like we had a really good time. One of these days I will hopefully get the guts to bring one of my reborns to Disneyland. I think it would be really, really interesting. And I was on the live chat with Don't Worry Reborn Collective, formerly This Little Piggy 41, on one of her recent live chats, and we were talking about maybe doing a Southern California meetup at some point at Downtown Disney, which I think would be really, really cool. So yeah, so if we do, we'll try to film that. But anyhow, I think that's good for today's video. I don't want this to get too long. Just wanted to pop in and say hi and show you Madeline wearing some clothes since you guys last saw her in a diaper. And once I get a tripod, I'll try to do some more changing videos. But I also intend to enjoy my collection off camera. And obviously, I've only just started making YouTube videos like, I don't know, 3 or 4 days ago. So my channel is still very, very new. I had a whole bunch of box opening videos from the last few months that I've just been I sort of uploaded a whole bunch at once. So I've been a off-camera collector throughout, sort of the 8 years I've been collecting, but I've really only kind of super got into collecting, I think, again, with a vengeance, like the past 6 months. So anyhow, I hope you guys have a great rest of the weekend. I think I'm gonna go and work on painting my baby, and I will see you guys on the next video. Thank you so much, and don't forget to like and subscribe. All right, take care. Bye.